Is there a message?
BBC Radio Scotland.
Hello, I'm Kirsty Warwick. On Newsnight tonight, Scotland's First Minister. Nicola Sturgeon, you said that in relation to your gender recognition bill, it is right to look at the question, why can't a 16-year-old drink alcohol in a pub? Well, you then backtracked on this statement, so what do you believe?
Let me be absolutely clear, Kirsty. I am not saying that teens should be able to drink in pubs. Wink, wink. I am, of course, not saying to 16-year-olds who can vote in Scottish elections, by the way, hint, hint, that I would do that. We want to foster a strong relationship with 16-year-olds, not sours our connections with that group. So let me tell you, bud, I hate to be a famous grouse, but this is a forward-facing Scotland, and the youth are the tenants of our future. I am simply trying to take a shot on reaching out to these young voters in the spirit of cooperation.
OK. And finally, First Minister, is your government trying too hard to court the youth vote?
Let me be clear. No. That suggestion is tripping to the max, and I am sure that all my hood homies agree with me. Brap brap, mic drop.
So it hasn't been the best week for Nadeem on Team Tory. Now he's facing the music in the boardroom. What action will Rishi take?
OK, I have heard enough. I'm sorry, Nadeem, but I really don't think I can work with someone who forgets about £20 million. Tax? You're taxing me. So, I'm going to act with unwavering resolve. I've made my decision, and Nadeem, with regret, I'm sorry, but you're firmly going to be the subject of an independent investigation into the disclosures surrounding your tax affairs carried out by my ethics advisor, who will report back in due time regarding your compliance with the ministerial code. There. Who says I'm hopelessly weak?
The big game on Monday night was Darvel against Aberdeen in the Scottish Cup, and the cameras were allowed rare access to the home dressing room to hear the Darvel manager's team talk.
The average man lives for 40 million minutes. Boys, I'm asking yous to give your absolute utmost for the next 90. This is our dream. It's all about belief. Believe and we can achieve. Aberdeen may be 5 tiers above us in the Premier League, but when that whistle blows, we can compete. We are equal to them. Let's go!
Let's go, lads! Come on!
Wait, boys, wait, before you go. Davey, you're selling raffle tickets in the social club. Chris, you're driving the van on Saturday. And Donny, you're washing the strips tonight.
Got it, Gaffer.
Can I bother your boots, Wally?
At this time of year, when we celebrate the work of Scotland's national bard, a remarkable discovery has just been made. It is a never-before-seen work by the legendary poet Rabbie Burns. And in today's world premiere, we can imagine how Burns himself might have performed it in his own mither tongue.
I've a son's feeling that the nacht's gonna be a good nacht, that the nacht's gonna be a rare nacht, that the nacht's gonna be a rare good nacht. The next nacht, woo! For every chappie, get roaring foo, and unco happy. There's bonny lassies, needing pleasing, jump o'er the brig, and let's get blazing.
Let's act up loose, man and moose. We'll chug the wine for old lang syne. I'm preaching the peace from Ayr to Dumfries, and we're losing control, cause we're all famous bowl.
Ale in my cup,
Mazel tov.
Mundruthi neighbours, let's kick it off. Party now, hold my plough, jag after dark, my cutty, sark.
Just wonderful. And you know, the sentiments expressed by the bard hundreds of years ago still ring true in Ayrshire today.
What? Shaking big labour? Sarwar's here to talk tactics with Starmer. We're teammates, like with Keir's beloved Arsenal. He's a Ramsdale, I'm a Tierney, and together we're the big gunners, about to go boom, 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 shake of the room. Am I right?
Yeah, Angela Vena. Sakea sends his apologies, but he's at a really, really crucial session alphabetising his vinyl. Is there a message?
Aye, there's a message. Sniff the air, Eddie. You catching that honk? Wee bit of cheddar in the atmos. That's 'cause your boy here is a teensy bit cheesed off with a big chap. There's a ripping in my knitting.
I'm sorry, are you saying you're annoyed with Sakea? Please tell me more. It's really, really crucial the Labour Party does not let internal squabbles make us unelectable again.
I've got a bone to pick with Starmer the Charmer. A wee chicken vinglet, no a big whalebone. I'm a tad bit beeling. A dusting of frost on the Sarwar shoulder.
Go on.
See, in Davos, at the big World Economic Forum, Big K said that if he got the big job, he would rule out new investment in North Sea oil and gas. Oofty! That's got some big loons in Aberdeenshire all grumped up. Grampian Chamber of Commerce called it a fundamental misunderstanding.
Just remind me, how many MPs do Labour have in Aberdeen?
Well, okay, let me see. You carry the one and divide it by... Zilcho.
Right, well, we really don't want that figure to drop even lower, do we?
We do not. The message to Sir Kay is he needs to get on it like a Scotch bonnet. Dinna outline your policies, stick to criticising the government's policies. Dinna point the way forward, point at the numpties.
Got it. And thank you, because we are always eager to find fresh areas where our leader can be even more vague.
Look, I'm still Starmsy's #1 fan, but you have to remind Sir K-Dog that I'm an asset as a politician, a collaborator and a dentist. I can put words in his mouth and I can polish up his teeth too. Put some zap in his trap. Mates rates, innit? See you next time, Anjo. And tell the boss to floss.
It's that time of year again. Cold starts, dark nights, and you dream of a holiday somewhere warm and exotic. Maybe a cruise. Well, forget all that and book Scottish Da Holidays.
Scottish Da Holidays. The places are overrated. Have you seen the commission the bandits take on changing pounds to euros?
Scottish Da Holidays are the only ABDA-approved firm that travel to the destinations that are the choice of Scottish Das. Choose from literally a handful of Da-endorsed locations.
Millport's got a beach, Blackpool's got a tower, Burnt Island's got a bouncy castle.
With a Scottish Da leading the way, half the fun of the holiday is the journey itself.
Is it much further?
Any more of your nonsense and I'm turning this car around.
Book your next adventure with Scottish Da Holidays.
The expected journey time was 3 hours, but since Scottish Da knew a shortcut, it only took us 6.
I'm not asking for directions. I've got my A to Z road atlas in the boot.
Dine in style and make half-board full board with a Scottish Da.
Fill your pockets with toast and muffins for the buffet kids. That'll do your lunch.
Scottish Da Holidays.
Acquire again? Who am I, Mr. Scattercash? I can save dosh and date myself. Scottish Da Holidays. You see?
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, Your Majesty, Camilla, Queen Consort.
Gosh, thank you all for taking part in this planning committee for the King's coronation. As you know, my husband the King wants the event to be reserved and respectful. In this time where the cost of living is paramount in the country's mind, Charles would very much like it to be a no-frills coronation. So let's have some ideas.
Shall we start with the music?
Excellent. Tradition suggests it should be a 200-strong choir, backed by trumpets, percussions, and the combined bands of the various armed forces.
We could just throw up some speakers and play the Champions League anthem on Spotify.
Splendid. No frills. Now, what about His Majesty's ceremonial dress?
Well, of course, formally the king should wear a velvet ermine robe embroidered in gold, lined in rose-coloured silk.
Expensive. Any alternatives?
We wondered if we could get a suit from Slater's Menswear.
Tremendous. Though if one could suggest something.
Yes, of course, ma'am.
If we keep the tagger on it, we can take it back afterwards.
Brilliant, Your Majesty.
Now catering. Fortnum and Masons? Harrods?
Half a dozen party platters from Farm Foods?
Could one stretch to include a prawn ring?
Of course, ma'am.
Sumptuous. Oh, this all sounds very modest and within budget. My only worry is, does no frills minimise the standing of the royal family? I mean, will such a cut-price coronation devalue the monarchy? Should we not just go for the full pomp and pageantry?
Then you would have to invite Harry and Meghan.
Bargain basement it is!
Hello and boof! It's Sunday. It's a show. So you're watching the Sunday Show with me, Martin Geisler. And yup, boof! Joining me from our Radio Scotland studio is Fiona Stalker. What's coming up still to come, Fiona?
Ho, ho, ho! Yes, good morning, Martin. Yes, indeedy. Absolutely. We're leading with the big tech news.
Techie tech. Boof! Yup.
Reports today that the Apple CEO is taking a 40% pay cut.
But if my iPhone battery is anything to go by, you can expect that to drop to 5% in about an hour. Boof!
Oh, you'll want to get that charge, won't you? Yes, indeedy.
Boof! We'll be reviewing the papers, and in a shock report this Sunday, the readers of a pro-independence newspaper have voted in favour of independence yet again. 54% of those polled were still in the yes camp, while the remaining 46 favoured aye. Boof!
Indeedy, yes.
Indeedy, yes.
Absolutely. Now, in football, we look back at the match this week that really showcased the magic of the Scottish Cup when a bunch of hackers, journeymen and no-hopers got a chance to prove their worth and have a shot at glory. But alas, it wasn't to be for Aberdeen and they lost out to Darvel.
Darvel! Boof! In showbiz, Gerard Butler has revealed he was injured while making his new film, Plane.
Yes, Martin. Apparently, the Paisley superstar opened the overhead locker and was struck by the giant bar of Toblerone he had bought in duty-free.
Ouchie! Ha ha! Scotland's first driverless bus took its maiden journey across the Forth Bridge. Yup, boof! The problem with that route, though, is that by the time it made it to one end, it needed to start the process all over again.
Yeah, that's correct. Absolutely.
Great stuff. Okay, let's do it. Thanks for your metaphorical company. You're watching The Sunday Show. Boof!
That was me, Judith Ralston, with your weather forecast. In summary, it's wintry. It's absolutely Baltic. And if you're out and about in unheated smoking areas outside Scotland's pubs, do watch out for prolonged outbreaks of sustained effing and jeffing. It's a blue language warning. And that's the weather. Yous are all listening to the afternoon show with my own self, Michelle McManus, right? So that Celtic Connections Festival is taking place now in Glasgow, right? It's a cultural extravaganza, totally enjoyed by lovers of roots music and Jake Balls who like a late drink. To celebrate traditional Scottish tunes and Burns Night, right? We asked some prominent politicians what their favourite Burns poem was. First Minister Nicola Sturgeon.
To be clear, my favourite Burns work is Scots Wha Hae.
Former Labour leader Gordon Brown.
My love is like a red rose.
Green co-leader Lorna Slater.
Green grow the rashes, eh?
And finally, Conservative Government Secretary for Scotland, Alistair Jack.
A man's a man for all that. And we can veto if you say otherwise. Thanks very much for coming into the repair shop. What you got for us today?
Just this little thing here. The reputation of the BBC.
That is bashed and bruised, innit?
Oh, well, it's over 100 years old, and a lot of people have kicked into it over that time.
And it still works.
Just about, yeah. Of course, not everyone takes joy in it, but yeah, it's still working, yeah.
So what can we do for you today?
Well, do you see this big dent in the BBC reputation here? No one was paying attention to it, and it took a bump from a chair.
Oh yeah, that is quite a dunt. Not cheap to fix that.
I think it'll be about 800 grand's worth.
Well, I can get the team together, see if we can't rustle up an independent inquiry to deal with it.
Oh, that would be great. Do you know when it'll be ready?
Couldn't say. Snowed under at the moment. Someone just popped in with ScotRail's reputation. Don't know if we can repair that. I'm here on the streets of Mulgai and Bearsden, where a water main supplying local properties has just burst. Tell me, has this affected your drinking water?
Oh no, the local Waitrose still sells San Pellegrino, so we're fine.
Oh, Nicola, what a buzz. There's electricity in the air. No longer are we First Minister and SNP Chief Exec Nicola and Peter. Instead, we are Piccola, a loved-up couple on a date night at the amusements.
Indeed, babes. And how I enjoyed my podium finish on Super Mario Kart.
Oh, Nicola, so bewitched, bothered and bewildered was I by the speed of your Donkey Kong that I careered my Yoshi into the rainbow abyss. Forget politics. Tonight, the name of the game is escapism.
A valuable insight, Peter. What happens in the fun zone stays in the fun zone.
So true, my sugar plum. Soon we shall share a blue raspberry slushy, but first, dare we whack-a-mole?
Please, bring it on, Peter. To be clear, the objective is to scalp these irritating wee upstart niaffs.
Yes, my darling. Behold your spongy paddle. Now here come the moles.
I see. Oh, you pipe down. Whack.
Ooh.
You stay in your lane. Bang. Oh, didn't you tell me what to do? Bang. See that one? That one is for knocking back my laws. Bang, bang, boof. Ha ha. That is for saying that I can't have a referendum. No referendum for me. Well, bang, 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 bang. Ha ha ha. Back in your box, you. Woof. Back in your box. Whack, woof. Back in your box. Scalpy Scalperson. Poof. And may I just be crystal clear about this? All of you can get back in your box. Bang, 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 bang. Bang!
Oh, Nicola, you were born to whack.
It's so therapeutic to get away from politics for a night, Peter. Now, fire it up again, cupcake. We might be here sometime.
Welcome back to our coverage of the snooker on BBC Two. A lot of eyes will be on Stephen Hendry today. First frame back after being fined for missing tournaments to appear on ITV's The Masked Singer to sing songs dressed as a bin.
Here he comes, the 7-time world champion. He's still dressed as a bin.
You'd have to think that will affect his cue action.
He's aiming for the green now, and let's see how the bin does. Oh, that's a foul. The green's a no-no for a bin on a Tuesday.
Prime Minister, the leader of the Scottish Conservatives, Douglas Ross.
Ah, Douglas. Nice to see you again.
Oh, you got my name right this time. Thank you. You too, Prime Minister. Nice weekend?
Very nice weekend. Thank you for asking. You?
Thrilling, Prime Minister. I was a referee.
Oh, not a referee for another big loan for Boris. That's the last thing we need.
Sorry, Prime Minister. No, I was talking about being a football referee.
Really? You? A referee?
I was, Prime Minister, in Dundee.
Really? Dundee? Was it a family kickabout?
No, Prime Minister, the actual Scottish Cup.
Really? Scotland has its own cup?
It sure does, Prime Minister. A proper trophy with proper teams.
How lovely. Good for them.
Yes,
Oh.
although I have to remain impartial when it's my local side, the mighty Elgin City.
Elgin? A city? Have they won the cup?
No.
Right.
No cup. No.
Oh, I see.
Never won it.
Got it. OK, well, this was great, Douglas, but I simply must get back to work. Someone has to preserve this government's reputation for integrity, professionalism and accountability. The media has me under fire from all sides.
You need to buckle up.
I'm sorry? Buckle up? Was that a dig at my fixed penalty notice for not wearing a seatbelt?
Perish the blooming thought, Prime Minister. I was just using a phrase, buckle up, in the figurative sense, the way everyone does.
Well, I really...
Yeah, of course, you've got a lot to do, Prime Minister. I'll leave you to get on.
Great chat. Safe trip back to Elderslie.
It's Never mind, Prime Minister.
Bye, Ruth.
Bye.
You're watching the Laura Kunsberg Show. Later this morning, a paper review featuring a TV chef, a support dog and a baffled MP. But first, I'm joined by Scottish Liberal Democrat leader Alex Cole-Hamilton.
Forsooth, facilitations to thee this fine morrow. 'Tis I, Alexander Cole-Hamilton.
Alex, I understand you support the Scottish Government ban on disposable vapes.
I give my thunderous support. Vapes are unseemly and uncouth. If one must smoke, then make it Cuban cigars in a satin dressing gown in the billiard room. Or, at a pinch, snuff. If it's good enough for me, Alexander Cole-Hamilton, it's good enough for the average Scot. I bid you farewell. And so, we are delighted to be introducing Scotland's first driverless bus. After a successful trial on the Forth Bridge between Edinburgh and Fife, the future is here. And thanks to the AI programme controlling the speaker system, it interacts with the public just like a real bus driver.
All aboard. Are you getting on or no?
You can ask it for any type of ticket, adult or child fare.
There's no way you're a half. Pay full or get half. And it's correct change only, no contactless.
Genuine, realistic Scottish bus driver interaction with the passengers.
You can't eat your chips on here. No drink, no sing songs. This isn't a hen do.
It's safe, efficient, and you won't notice a difference from a normal bus.
Keep that dog on a lead. Can I smell wacky-backy? Sort out that fight yourselves. I'm a driver, not a bouncer.
Programmed to respond with all route information.
How am I supposed to know if we go by the Big Astor? What am I, Google Maps?
Comes complete with all the features you know and love. It even sits and reads the paper for 10 minutes before it lets you on.
I'll go when I'm good and ready.
We're delighted we're moving from the dark ages forward into the future. Not because of the driverless technology, but because the bus takes you out of Fife into Edinburgh.
Scottish Government, I say with clarity, our actions are constantly scrutinised by an intense media. CNN, ITN, Ayrshire Advertiser, and recently my own BBC interview with Laura Kunsberg.
Bzz, First Minister Patrick Harvey, Minister for Carbon-Free Pedalos. Can I just say, you were the best guest on that show. Heaps more razzle-dazzle charisma than James Cleverly or Boris Johnston's wee sister.
That's appreciated, Patrick, I think, although I was, of course, misquoted.
Who misquoted you? Name names, FM?
It was, in fact, me, myself, Nicola Sturgeon, who misquoted me, myself, Nicola Sturgeon. So let me be clear. I was not clear when I misspoke bad phrasing, which may have mistakenly given the impression that I think 16-year-olds should be allowed to drink alcohol, whereas clearly on reflection, I believe something else which is not that. Classic stiletto in Gub.
Tell me about it. I'm never done doing that.
Thank you, Humza. Now, as a government, we have a clear chance to clear up what you can and cannot do at 16. And joining us is Shirley Ann Somerville, Cabinet Secretary for Education, Skills, Insta and TikTok.
Thanks, the goat. I've got lots of free time today, but then you get fewer bothersome calls to deal with when the teachers are on strike. Bliss.
Helpful, thank you. OK, I'll start. At 16, in Scotland, you cannot drink alcohol.
Bzz, you can if you are in a restaurant ordering food with a parent, e.g. a meatless risotto with a locally sourced boutique distilled G&T.
Oh, and the reusable straw, eh?
Slurp, slurp, Lorna Slater, my co-leader and BFF.
At 16, you can legally ride your own moped.
Bzz, preferably electric powered.
Oh, and a paperless license, eh?
At 16, you can watch a grown-up film.
Bzz, so long as you're not watching Sweet 16 at 16 as Sweet 16 is an 18.
At 16, you can start higher education.
Hopefully to study law. The way things are going, we could be needing a few more lawyers.
Thank you, team. And finally, at 16, you can vote in the Scottish Parliament elections.
Bzz, hopefully vote for us.
Patrick, just to be clear, by us, do you mean us, the coalition, or us, the Greens, yous?
Let the record state I stated the word us and will make no further comment at this juncture.
Very well. Clearly, that clears things up with our trademark extreme clarity. And let me be clear, well done us.
Yes, well done us.
With so many politicians arguing over issues, one topic has united Scotland's opposition parties. This week saw reports of huge payouts to passengers due to disruption from Scotland's publicly owned ferry operator. So, Labour, Lib Dems and Conservatives can all agree on one thing.
It's Super Calmac ferry crisis, isn't it atrocious? And that's the scandal big enough to make us look ferocious. If we say it loud enough, we'll get in by hypnosis. Super Calmac ferry crisis, isn't it atrocious? Dum de lil dum de lie, dum de lil dum de lie, dum de lil dum de lie, dum de lil dum de lie. As opposition parties, we struggle to convince until we raise the issues that ferries are pure mince. We're compensating passengers right around the clock. The aging fleet is always late or sitting in dry dock. Oh, Super Calmac ferry crisis, isn't it atrocious? Whoever planned the service route was clearly fully stocious. If we say it just enough, we'll even sway the voters. Super Calmac ferry crisis, isn't it atrocious?
That's a heavy tune. Great to be singing from the same song sheet as you and the Tories, Dougso Rosso. But what would we do different if we were in charge?
Shh, not now, Annas. Just stick to the blooming catchy chorus.
Super Calmac ferry crisis, isn't it atrocious?
Noising Up starred Karen Barkey, Stephen Buchanan, Michelle Gallagher, Zara Janjua and Manjot Sumal. The script editor was Stuart McPherson. The script was written by Darren Sempe, Christopher Stanners, Chris Douch, Nathan Cowley, Wes Fargo, Rebecca Bain and Alex Garrick-Wright, Christopher Ballard and Paul Brown. Noising Up is a comedy unit production for BBC Radio Scotland.